Welcome to the Mystic Millionaire podcast, where wealth is energy, success is a mindset, and abundance is your birthright. I am Danielle Amos, your host and mentor, here to help you unlock prosperity, embody confidence, and manifest a life you love. Take a breath, align with your truth, and let's manifest millions. After more than 15 years as an entrepreneur, from tech founder, renowned jazz musician, coach, and energy medicine practitioner, Yoly knows firsthand that the only constant in life is change. Through a multifaceted journey of creation, reinvention, and healing, she's learned how to harness change as a powerful force for fulfillment, freedom, and purpose-driven living. Yoly brings a grounded, compassionate perspective to what it truly means to live in alignment with your values. Today, through hybrid and in-person energy medicine programs, Yoly supports big thinkers and heart-centered visionaries to heal the root energetic cause of chronic conditions and challenging patterns, and then harness their energy to expand with even more alignment and impact. So this conversation with Yoly, you're absolutely going to love. She is an expert in energy medicine. And to be honest, I thought I knew what that meant. But she taught me how to measure my alignment and the energy in my body, and then gave me tools to become more grounded. It was actually fascinating. We shared a passion for knowledge and understanding. She's trained with some of the top energy medicine mentors in the world and really values lineage like I do. And she's a wealth of knowledge and an absolute gift, because she gave us ways in this podcast that you can actually apply tools to recalibrate your energy and then test yourself. Join us for this conversation. You'll love it. I'm here with a fabulous soul sister, Yoly, who we have a mutual friend, Jessica, who brought us together. I'm so grateful that you're in the Mystic Millionaire podcast studio today. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Danielle, for having me. I'm so excited. As I told you, your message, everything you do resonates so much that I was like, I really want to be part of this. I'm so excited about this interview.
We were just talking behind the scenes for everyone, and we were sharing. I said, we speak the same language. This is going to be an on fire podcast because there's like no getting to know each other because we already know each other. And that's such a unique connection. And yeah, let's get started. I want you to share how you got here, Yoly. How are you an expert in energetics and attunement?
Mm-hmm.
And for all of the listeners, I want you to stay with us today, because Yoly's actually going to give us practical tools to, would you say, measure if we're in alignment?
Yeah, to test how our energy in general is, and then how our energy systems are.
Okay.
And then a few tools to get them into balance and into alignment. Yeah.
Okay, so you're going to want to stay with us, because she's actually going to take us through some practices. So you know how, for me, it's all about application. So let's get started. Share about your story and what got you here.
Yeah. Oof. Well, I started my journey in different industries, and I think one thing that I am very grateful has been to honor my truth in that moment. What is my truth in this moment? No? And I started my adult life as a musician, actually. My career was, I would used to be a jazz singer. And yes, and I was like a touring musician, and I had like a very successful group that was touring all over Europe when I was living there. And that was amazing. And I love that life brought me into jazz, because in jazz, even when you are the lead singer, even when it's your band, it's a genre that has a lot of solos also, in which the musicians and the instrument have a moment to shine. And even if you are leading the band and you're in the center of the stage, when they are doing their solo, sometimes you step aside and you let them shine and you cheer them on. So it teaches you the pauses. It teaches you about sacred pause. Know that you don't have to be on all the time. That you can pause and also give the room and give the space for others. That you can also create environments for others that are conducive for other people to grow as well.
Well, that's actually the definition of leadership that we use inside our community. So a good leader doesn't care what others think of them.
Yeah.
They are more concerned about what the people they're serving, what they think of themselves.
Yeah.
And that a leader is willing to move aside and create the environment, exactly to your words, actually, that's conducive to the unfoldment
Yes.
of the people they're helping so that their greatest gifts can come to the table. I love that you just said that.
Yes. No, and I love that you see it because sometimes you think of music just as something that is about enjoyment and fun, but it can teach you about leadership and it can teach you about holding space as well, because that was also a very subtle way to tell the audience, I know you came here for the singer, for me, but this will be nothing without them. It's all of us, it's all of us. So I love that. And then once I was in the music industry, I realized that there were certain things that I didn't necessarily agree with in terms of how the industry as a whole was working and was functioning. And I ended up in the business side of it. And then I found myself in technology, creating technology tools, not to support creative industries. And that's how I created a technology company that I was part of as a co-founder and partner for 10 years. So that was a decade of my life. And it's a very demanding industry. So I was in technology and living predominantly in New York, even though I was traveling a lot. So when you mix technology and New York, those are very strong energies.
And quite masculine, I would say.
Yes, masculine and also male-dominated industries and stuff like that. And I was very young. So I was in this go, 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 do, grind, hustle,
Just like we were programmed to do if you want success, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I found myself in this kind of like I'll be happy when rut and neglecting key areas of my life. I, for some reason, got into this obsessive focus with career and business. And that's all I could think of. I will be working 80, 100 hours a week, even more sometimes, eating at completely irregular times, not really taking good care of my health, my relationships, anything, because I just wanted to make, right?
A lot of our listeners will resonate with that.
Yeah, I just wanted to succeed. I just wanted to make it. And that's pretty much when I realized this is not a way to live. That's not it, because we set very ambitious goals. No, we need to span to this amount of markets and we need to hit these revenue milestones or this number of clients. And when we hit those goals, my excitement was like really brief. It was I was happy for 20 minutes. I was happy for a day maybe. And then it felt so empty because all the other key areas of my life were neglected,
Yeah.
My relationships were not necessarily the healthiest in that moment. You don't have anyone to share it with. You're not feeling good in your own body. So that's when I realized I need to change the way I'm doing business, the way I'm doing life, and I need to reclaim my wholeness. We all are whole and complete, and we don't lose that, but I was disconnected from it. So I need to reconnect with my wholeness, and I need to start paying attention to all areas of my life. I won't do it all at once, but I will start, tapping into one by one. And I started with my health and then with my relationships. And I decided to call all of those things different forms of wholeness.
Okay.
No, my physical wholeness. And then I went into my relational wholeness. And then I went into my financial wholeness. And I went into my emotional and spiritual wholeness. And that's how I landed and arrived into this concept of wholeness as a way of living.
And did you have a mentor at that time to help you, or was this more intuitive guidance that you were guiding yourself, or was there a book or?
Yeah. It was a mix of both.
Okay.
The intuitive guidance played a huge role in about me listening and doing it without doubting the guidance and without any questions.
Okay.
Because in that 10-year journey that I just mentioned, there was a moment in which I went traveling for 2 years. I went into this 2-year traveling journey without leaving my tech company. I was still leading the tech company at the time. Those were very long days because I was doing my spiritual thing during the day. And then I was working at night because the time zone difference was helping me when I was in Asia or in Europe. So it was perfect. And I just listened to this intuitive nudge that I have about going back to Europe that feels like home to me. I've lived there for a very long time. And I found my first mentor there, the first mentor in my adult life or this side of my journey. Her name is Marina. She's in Italy. And then she moved to Portugal and she trained me and certified me in something that's called holistic health therapy.
Okay.
But I applied to myself, no? And she was like, we cannot let you put hands on people until you work on yourself. You need to be the embodiment of what you're going to teach, of what you're going to work on. So these programs and things that I created, now I could have easily rushed into it and launched it 4 or 5 years ago, but it wasn't the right me, and I wouldn't have owned the programs. And by own, I don't mean ownership because it's copyright or creation. By ownership, I means I walk the talk. I did it. And I'm not this type of thought leader pointing fingers at people telling them what to do when I haven't done it myself.
Love that. That's integrity.
Yeah. I couldn't let myself to do that. I was like, if I need to push the release and launch of all these things until I really feel that I've done it, then that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And that level of education with this mentor led me to my next mentor, but I didn't know that I was going to meet my next mentor. I just follow this intuition of going to the places that I need to go. And I couldn't even imagine, because when I saw a pioneer in energy medicine, her name is Donna Eden. She is, I think she's 82 years old now. And at the time that I met her and I saw her, she was in her late 70s, jumping on the stage, teaching people. And I was like, and then she gave a conference and speaking in energy medicine. And it was a large group. It was like for 300 people. And I was like, whatever she's doing, that's what I want to learn.
Amazing.
And
I love how you just know when you know. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes, because of her energy and her
And it
vitality.
resonates with the truth of who you are.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And I saw that. I was looking at her on stage and Googling immediately, and I found this certification that is kind of like a big deal because it was like a 4-year program and stuff like that you have to really dive deep into it. And that's how I ended up in energy medicine. But I have been working with the energetics before then for a few years. So long story short, I decided to make myself my mission. I was like, I want to stay in tech because I cared a lot about the people in the company as well. The team, I love them besides the role, beyond the role. I didn't see them as the marketing person. I wanted them to win as well. So I stayed there, but parallel to that, I started working on myself and reclaiming my wholeness. And that's how I found all my mentors. No, and I have now an incredible energy medicine mentor. Also, her name is Deborah, and I ran through her my most challenging cases, and it's incredible how I keep learning because I love learning and doing life with this like student mindset, even if I am certified in this and the other, and just going through life with a learn it all perspective rather with a know it all perspective. I think we can learn from everybody.
Absolutely.
Even if we already know our stuff, there's always room to learn more.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah, I think I'm here thanks to mentors and great teachers.
Amazing. And my first mentor would say, when the student's ready, the teacher appears.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not that you need to go searching. You follow the intuition, and if that person is right there, you're open to seeing them. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of mentorship as well. So I love that you are speaking about that and really acknowledging our mentors, because none of it's our information. I constantly am quoting people as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love doing that. I love quoting people. I love giving credit to my mentors. We were talking recently about my most recent podcast interview with our friend in common, and I was sharing about the names of my teachers because a lot of the things I shared were taught to me, were passed, this information that was passed on to me.
Yeah, and it's a level of respect, isn't it? It's like a lineage that you receive the information, and I'm really proud of my lineage.
Yes.
And I choose my mentors very carefully based on the embodiment that they are that, and they are walking the talk, and they have the results that their modalities say that they will. I think that's so important.
Yeah. It's beautiful when you can see the results in them, like in the way they live, no? Because sometimes even for spirituality, that there's this concept of spirituality that some people believe that it's about sitting in meditation, but it's really how you live your life, no?
It's moment to moment to moment.
It's everything. And even for those of us that hold space for others, that have clients, whether if it's groups, one-on-one or something, I think we can create these containers and hold space and be fully present with people for that hour or 2 hours, however long, because of what we do with our lives the other 23 hours or the other 22 hours. So the work is not only when you are with them in the room, the work is in the moment you wake up.
It's actually behind the scenes. That's what's way more important, and what's happening when you're preparing yourself. I agree. Yeah, so good. So, what does energetics mean to you? What does attunement mean to you, and alignment?
Yeah. I love that you asked that because in terms of energetics, it's very broad right now, no? In terms of what we have heard, there is like energy healing and there is Reiki. There are multiple modalities, and I think all of those get you closer to where you need to be and give you something for sure. What I practice is called energy medicine. No, that is like a subtle practice and a subtle modality in the energetics that helps you feel your body and understand your body from within. It's kind of like the subtitles. If you love a film, and for example, in French, and you don't speak French, even you can see the image and you can kind of like read the context of what's happening, but you won't fully understand it, right? We're connected to our body. We feel something's off, but we don't know the root. We don't know what is really happening. And the testing in energy medicine, the energy testing that is based on biofeedback and biofield, gives you the subtitles, it helps you understand what is really happening in your body, and sometimes even the root. Because if you have pain, for example, in a part of your body, maybe if you have pain in your knee or your elbow, maybe
I have pain in my elbow.
yeah, maybe it's not really the elbow. It could be a different thing. And now I'm going to share a little story about myself and the elbow as well.
Okay.
Because, for example, a couple years ago, I was in this crossroads, no? And I was like, why should I leave? Should I sell my company? Should I stay? Should I go? Should I go all into my new business in energy medicine? Da, da, da. And I felt that I was pulled in multiple directions. One of the energy systems of the body are the meridians, right? And each meridian is associated with certain emotions. And a lot of things that we feel physically are related to certain emotions, have an emotion or an energetic source. And a small intestine meridian, for example, is associated with decision making. And when you're pulling multiple directions and stuff like that. And part of that meridian, no, this is the direction of the small intestine meridian. It goes all the way back into your scapula and then comes up. So there is a way to trace that meridian. But the point that I'm trying to make is that it runs through the elbow as well. And a couple of years ago, I fell in the weirdest way possible. Like it didn't even make sense. And I nearly broke my elbow.
Wow.
I nearly broke my elbow and I couldn't understand why. And there is this thing that the body does to protect us, because the main role of the body is to protect our organs, no? And especially the heart. So I know that there could be some divided opinions about this, but sometimes in order to protect our organs, a body start breaking things. And the hierarchy that the body will follow is like it's gonna break your bone to release that excess energy that you have in emotionally. Second, it's gonna break the muscle. I'm not talking literally. I'm using the word break just to get the point across. It's gonna break the muscle because the muscle is more important because the bone goes where the muscle wants it to go. And third, it's gonna go on into the mind, and that's when we get anxiety, depression. So it has the levels. And when we feel any sort of pain, that's when we should start paying attention and start realigning and attuning our energy so it doesn't go. If it's in the bone, it doesn't go to the muscle, it doesn't go to the mind, it doesn't go to the organ, right? So I was grateful, all this to say that I was grateful when I nearly broke my elbow, because that's the way that my body had to release that emotional tension that I was feeling for this being pulled in multiple directions. Because if I didn't break my elbow, probably it would be my heart. So I would probably be telling you a story about a heart attack at a very young age.
Got it.
And instead, I'm telling you, I nearly broke my elbow. So sometimes those things happen, and you might have heard stories or someone you know that tells you, I don't know how I broke my wrist. I don't know how my finger. I don't know. I fell in my knee, something, or they have some sort of pain. So when I hear someone with pain, and this is something that we have kind of like as an internal language in the energy medicine community, we say, I love a pain client. And it's not because we love seeing people in pain. Otherwise, we wouldn't be devoted to help people. But the reason we say that is because it gives us a point to start. We know where to start with this detective work to find the root. Because now I told you this whole story about an elbow and it had nothing to do with the elbow.
Yeah.
It was with this emotional charge of being pulled in multiple directions. I made a decision. And when every physical therapist, every doctor has told me that it will tell me at least 6 months to recover, in 2 weeks, I was perfectly fine.
Love that. Okay.
Yeah, because I treated it through energy medicine, and then I did the emotional work.
Yes. Key.
And that released the whole thing, but I needed to find the root. And thanks to finding the root, I found the solution to the real problem.
I love that. I love that. And so from 6 months that the doctors say the traditional medicine system to heal the elbow, which you don't even know if that would have ever been healed through that if you didn't address the root cause. I mean, it would just come back, would it not? And so then instead, the energy medicine and then the emotional. So you actually took responsibility for what was coming up. And I love that. Okay. So my elbow came out of nowhere. That's really interesting. It's like, out of the blue, and all of a sudden I had a pain, and it's like every time I'm doing this, I'm like, what is that? And so I was using some tools that I know to look at for the root cause of what that means. And I'm like very interested now.
Yeah. No, and it varies from person to person. I don't want everyone to think that if your elbow is in pain, it's about decision making or something.
Right.
It could be different things, but there are ways to listen to your body and to find the root. And something that I was sharing is like I dream with the day that everyone knows self-testing enough, so that they can feel something's off and then go, okay, my polarity, my grounding, and then do the corrections and the tools for them to feel better.
Well, let's imagine a world where people understand that the body, the pain in the body is that first step to tell us that something's off, and we don't ignore it and keep going and say, oh, like one day, or I'm too busy to address this. And it's like, oh, I'm feeling something here.
Yeah.
Let's use my tools now. I mean, this is huge. It's transforming the medical system. I mean,
Yes.
really?
Yeah, exactly. And also because in the same way that I mentioned that the meridians are connected to emotions, also each one is connected to certain muscles. So if you have pain in a specific muscle, that might be telling you that that is specific meridian. No, there's a muscle called psoas, and that's connected to the kidney meridian. So if that muscle hurts, maybe you should be paying attention to that one. But we don't guess, we test.
Yeah.
No, so that's
I love that.
the
We
beauty
don't
of
guess,
it.
we test.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to repeat that.
It's very important, and I learned that from an incredible energy medicine teacher. No, she would used to say, "Why guess when you can test?"
Yeah.
And I love that. But I always deal with all this with people with a lot of compassion, because we have been raised and conditioned to trust external sources, to trust someone else telling us what's
Over
happening
ourselves.
over ourselves. So if I tell you, you will test and then you will find the root, and then someone will tell you, maybe this is what is happening with you, we will probably lean into listening more to the external voices and the outside voices. And that's just the conditioning. So it comes with a lot of belief and a lot of unlearning as well.
Huge. I tattooed something on my arm this past year.
What did it say? Trust yourself. Oh my goodness. My
So as you say that, it is really important. And isn't it interesting that we value someone else's knowledge and wisdom over our own, although we have everything within for ourselves and we were built that way.
Yes. And also, like, sometimes when we are in these peer groups or calls or sessions, or people ask me, I'm feeling this way, what do you think I should do? And I will say, like, I can have some educated guess, no, based on what they are sharing, but I will still go and test, because I will never know what is best for you than the intelligence of your own body. It doesn't matter if I've done this for 10,000 hours, for 10, 20, 30 years, like, your body will know better than I ever will.
Wow.
So and you will hear me talking about my teachers a lot, that's just how I do it. One of my teachers says, no, we kind of have the easiest gig in the world, because we go and test and their body tell us what to do. We just need to master our skills and our tools and our protocols, and we are good to go. And that's true.
That's the complete opposite of what it feels like to go to a traditional doctor. Isn't it? Like, let's be honest here.
Yes, it's
like
different.
it's like, no, I'm the expert. I'm going to tell you. And I have so many friends who have been diagnosed with certain things who were told to like override their body when they knew that something was happening, and the doctor's like, it's fine, or it's something else. And they knew something different. Imagine if every woman, every person had that message that your body knows and it's wiser than the person standing in front of you. That's the professional, even though they've had 10,000 hours of studying the body or medicine. Yeah, really good.
Totally. No, and it's different. I always try not to say anything that as better or not. It's just very different approaches. I know that Western has also saved lives and all of that. Like, and it works great for trauma. For example, now if I have, hopefully not, but if I have an accident, break my leg or something, maybe I will go to the ER, right? But if it's something that I want to really understand and trust my body, I will go on a different approach. And I love that you mentioned that because things are changing and there's like a little bit more of like receptive. People are being more receptive to this type of tools. In my last certification program, there were 2 surgeons and a nurse as well.
Amazing.
So people in the medical professional, because they have such a good and solid foundation already, and such a deep knowledge that knowing all the energetics aspects of things to understand the root of what's going on. So that just let's stick with the example of the elbow. So if you come with elbow pain, I don't treat the elbow. I get more curious to see why you have that pain in the elbow. Then imagine that. It will be completely transformative for people.
Huge.
Because this approach gives people agency also over their own life and their own health, because it goes beyond physical health as well.
Love that. Should we talk about testing?
That? Yeah. Fair. Oh, don't tell me that. Like, you ask me about doing something with energy medicine. My answer will be yes.
Okay, let's do it, Yoly. Thank you.
Let's do it. Okay.
So how do we do it? You let us know. What are we testing for? Is it about the pain?
Testing?
Sure, yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay. Let's figure out how to do this.
Okay.
We are here flowing.
Okay, so let's here.
Okay. I love this. This is real life. This is the truth.
And it shows everybody your expertise and
yes. So people in the audience, energy testing visually might look a lot like something they might have seen as muscle testing, but it's very different because you might have seen probably a video or something on muscle testing that they ask people to put their arm like this and they will press their arm. When you push hard, you engage in the muscle. So you're doing natural muscle testing. You're testing the muscle. Energy testing is very soft, very subtle. You will barely feel it, because I don't need to test the muscle. I need to test the energy in order to get an accurate answer and result. So I'm going to test your polarity.
okay.
You will tell me if I'm allowed to say what I found or not.
Yeah, sure.
And then I'm going to test your grounding. So there are multiple ways to do energy testing when someone does it to you, but there are other ways for self-testing, which we're going to talk about as well. We're going to do a very easy one. That is the gallbladder test. You're going to put your arm in 45 degrees.
Okay.
Usually do this standing, but we're going to do it this way, like that, a little bit lower. And when I press very softly, you're just going to meet my pressure. You're not going to fight my pressure or let it go so easily. So you do it on me first.
Okay.
I'm meeting your pressure, right? Now do it again. I'm fighting your pressure.
Okay, got
it. See? So you're just going to meet my pressure, okay? And I'm going to hold this to close the circle of contact. Am I allowed to touch?
Yes.
Perfect. Meet my pressure. Good. It's strong. Now look. Meet my pressure. Let me do it again so I can see it. I do it with this side so they can see it.
Sure.
Meet my pressure. Strong. Meet my pressure. You saw how we get? Then I'm doing the same level of pressure. And meet my pressure and strong again. You saw that it started strong, then I pinch, it weakened, and then I did something else and it got strong. That tells me that I can use this arm to test your energy because it's sending information off to the brain, because when it started strong, then I pinch and I weaken the muscle connected to this specific test and you got weaker, But it also tells us something. It took very little to scramble your energy and to weaken your energy. So when if we don't strengthen our energy on a daily basis, if we go out and maybe walk by someone that is having a very hard day, it can affect us as well, because I didn't even hurt you. It was a very tiny pitch, right? So that's important. Now I'm going to test something that is very important and I will explain later. That is your polarity, okay? So meet my pressure and meet my pressure. Perfect. Your polarity is actually good. So what I did for people that is just listening this in audio, I put my hand, the palm of my hand over your crown.
Okay.
and I test it.
Okay.
And it tests strong. And then I flip my hand and I put the back of my hand over your crown, and it tested weak. That is for me to test your polarity. It is important. The right result that we're looking for is that when the palm of my hand is on your crown, it should test strong, and the back should test weak. That tells me that your polarity is correct.
Okay.
If I get any other results, then your polarity is reversed,
Okay.
or it could be frozen. So if I will have the back of my hand in your crown, and it tested strong, then your polarity is not correct.
Okay.
And I hope people are understanding that. It's easier than
polarity.
yeah, it's easier than it feels.
What does polarity mean?
Yes. So polarity is important because, and that's the first thing I tested, because let's say I go through an entire session with you and I do corrections. If your polarity is not correct, all the attunement that I do will not hold.
Got it.
It will correct in the moment, and it will be okay maybe for 10 minutes, 24 hours, right? So that's why the first thing that I correct is polarity. And to give a very practical example, imagine that you have a toy or anything that is battery operated, right? It tells you where to put the positive and where to put the negative. If you put it upside down, it's not going to work. You have to put it the way it is.
Yes.
And it's the same with that. When our polarity is reversed, we feel fatigued, tired, like we feel that feeling like something is off and I don't know what it is. I have an 8-hour sleep and I feel really sluggish and tired. Like when you feel that you're going 3 steps forwards and 2 steps backwards, when you feel that something is just not working properly, you're not functioning well. And another thing that happens when our polarities are not aligned is that, for example, all the nutrients, the things that we are receiving and putting in our body, sometimes the body doesn't know what to do with it, no? If you ingest to consume calcium or something, we expect it for it to go to the bones, no? But sometimes it can go in the tissue. It can go in other parts of the body that we don't want it to be, because the polarity is reversed, so everything is kind of like upside down.
Okay.
So it's very important for us, for our health, for our energy, for our vitality, to have our polarity corrected.
Okay.
And we're going to do some things, or I'm going to share with your audience videos for them to do their daily energetic tune-up, and for them to learn how to self-test as well. So we just did a quick test, and I hope it wasn't too confusing. It's really easier than it sounds,
Yeah.
So that was just one of a series of energy tests that I will do to figure out and to find out where the person is energetically, and then I will jump into the physical, and then I will go into the emotional. And it gives you a whole picture of where you are at. And I use this test here to make it easier for the camera, but there are 14 different ways to test energy. So yeah.
And so
the
polarity was good. The first one was weak, where basically like I'm susceptible to other people's energy picking up. So do you give your clients tools then to make it stronger?
Yes, because that's what I believe more. I believe in more. I really believe one of the questions I get asked the most is, how do I protect my energy? No, but sometimes I believe that if we are in the mindset of protecting, we might also call in or attract things to be protected from.
Of course. Good call.
Yeah. So I subscribe more to the school of thought of strengthening rather than protecting, because if your energy is being drained by a particular group of people or situation, and I help you protect your energy from that, then when you're in the next situation, we're in the same spot. So if I help you strengthen your energy in general, you can be in a book tour launch, holding space for others, leading retreats, doing anything, and you will be good to go. And that's what I do with a lot of my clients. Like I give them the general daily energetic tune-up, but also specific routines. Okay, before you go on stage, trace your extraordinary vessels that are in specific energy system. Do this, do that. And it's beautiful because at some point in our relationship, I can speak in that language and they will just get it.
Love that.
They will send me voice messages someday. I feel that something is off. I think my radiant circles or my extraordinary vessels are this or that. So it's just so beautiful when people start understanding and speak energy language in the same way we're speaking English,
That's so good.
That is amazing. But to answer your question, yes, there are ways to strengthen your energy in general, but also each energy system.
Okay.
And to talk a little bit more about that, some of the energy systems are things that you might have heard about and you're familiar, but the information that is out there about them is just scratching the surface, Because some of the energy systems are, for example, the aura, the chakra system, the meridians that we talk about, the 5 elements, then we have the extraordinary vessels, the electrics, and on and on and on. I don't want to confuse people. I really want this to be digest easily. But the point that I was trying to make is like you can find very small, like fast routines that are under 10 minutes that you can bring your energy back into balance, and then each one of those systems. Now, I don't want to present the picture of, oh, you can just be fully healthy even from chronic conditions in under 10 minutes a day. There are certain things that will need deeper protocols and advanced protocols, but in general, you can do it yourself with your own hands, no props, no anything. So that's the beauty of it as well.
Okay, cool. So what can you show us or our audience to use some of those tools? I'm excited.
Okay, so I'm going to do a very easy one.
Sure.
Very, very easy one. Here in a section of our shoulders lives a very interesting guy that is called the triple warmer.
Okay.
And that controls our fight, flight, or freeze reactions.
Okay.
And in a lot of cultures, the triple worm is seen like as the bad guy, but his job is to protect us. The only thing is that it doesn't discern when you are in real danger or when you are just stressed.
Of course.
So maybe it could be raining. No, you can be in a pouring rain and it will feel like you are being attacked or something like that. So it keeps us in this kind of like fight, flight, freeze. And I just wanted to give that piece of context before going to the exercise. And the other piece is that energy should move in figure 8 patterns, like the infinity symbol. That's the right pattern for our energy, like the number 8.
Yep.
When the energy is running in different patterns, like homolateral, that's when we feel off. So we always have to do energy exercises that are crossover, because it's a way of telling our energy, I'm repatterning you and bringing you back to the way that you should be running in my body.
Okay.
So we're going to do this that is called a cross crawl, and it's part of the energy routine of the Energy Medicine Pioneer, Donna Eden. So we're going to poke into the triple warmer, 1, 2, and then cross off our body. 1, 2, cross. We're doing like an X, if you see, but it's also like the body of the figure 8 or the infinity symbol. So this is one of the exercises that we can do to repattern our energy as well. And this is a very simple one.
So simple. And
with this, believe it or not, you're telling your body, we're going back to our nature. You're returning yourself to your true nature.
yeah.
I love this one.
And how long would you do that for?
At some point, you kind of just feel it. But right now, I do this for like a minute or 90 seconds. And there is another very, very important one that is called the hookup. Okay. And the hookup is really good because it just connects the yin and yang part of your body. It just kind of like brings you into this space of wholeness. And it's also very important if you are in kind of like a stressful situation to kind of recenter yourself and bring yourself back to your essence.
Helpful.
No, very helpful. We're going to put our middle finger in our third eye.
Okay.
And then the middle finger of our other hand in our belly button.
Okay.
And we're going to we're not pressing, we're just touching and putting it up a little bit.
Okay.
We're going to take some deep breaths and hold this position for a minute or 90 seconds. And try to make ourselves comfortable. And we can do it shorter this time just for the purpose of the podcast. But usually I do this whole sequence, and I have some other exercises as well. A mix of Donna Eden's routine and some things that I discovered in my journey. The whole routine takes about 7 minutes.
Okay.
And it has more things that would just bring different systems back into balance. And I'm gonna give a last one that is very important for when you are teaching something, or even like before you're doing a podcast interview and you want to just get into your creative brain, when you are overwhelmed and you have to deliver something. For an audience, it just brings you back. It's called the Wayne Cook. You cross one leg.
Okay.
And we always go to this X pattern, right? So I'm going to hold my ankle with the same arm. So this is my right leg. This is my right arm. So I'm holding this.
Got it.
And then I put my left hand underneath. I don't know if it's visible. Yeah. I'm putting it here, but usually you hold the sole of your feet. I'm just
Okay,
wearing
good.
shoes.
Yeah.
And then we're going to take 3 deep breaths. We go and forward, back. And then we close with this. Thumbs in the third eye. The thumbs are a neutral finger. Beautiful. This is so good.
Wow, I immediately felt a grounding,
Yes. Yes.
bringing back the presence.
Yeah. I chose those 3. Like the whole sequence is beautiful and amazing because just doing 3, we told kind of poke our energy and say, I'm going to repattern
Yeah.
and bring you back to nature. We center ourselves, connect our yin and yang, and then connected with our wholeness.
Yeah.
And then we brought ourselves to the creative rain. No, just with 3 simple exercises. I didn't took the time, but maybe the whole thing took us probably 2 minutes or less.
Wow.
So yeah, and there's more. Yeah, it's really good.
Okay, absolutely try this. I'm fascinated. I have to say, this is like not what I was expecting. It's way deeper and way more. I mean, I can see why there's 4 years of training. And that's just from one program that you've taken, right?
Yes,
To
that is one.
understand all the systems.
Yes, yes, yes.
Beautiful.
And usually people in this modality, we have to study other things because the approach that I have is what I call whole person healing, whole person care and whole person transformation. No? So I believe in the power of energy medicine, as you could tell, but I also understand that energy medicine alone doesn't do it. No? And that's why I had to complement it with food as medicine, holistic health therapy, and other things that can help me serve people in a holistic way as well. We're multidimensional after all. So
That's
one
so
thing
true.
won't heal it all. Yeah.
And that's your wholeness program. Do you want to tell us more about that?
Oh yes, yeah. So I have created the wholeness program, as I was telling you, based on my own story, and that's what I love it because it's coming from a place of honesty and responsibility. No, and the funny thing is that I did my own wholeness program on myself without knowing that I was doing it.
It's always the way, right?
It's the way we do it. And then I just kind of like give it some structure and find freedom within the structure again. So there are people that wants to learn about their energy systems for themselves. So for that, I created a program that is the Wholeness Code and the Wholeness Circle. It's a 16-week program in which people can learn how to master, self-testing. They will learn their primary and secondary element, which is our nature, in the same way that we know our astrology and our moon sign and sun and our human design. It's very important that people know their primary and secondary element
Okay.
based on the energetics. They will know their sensory types or representational styles and how to self-test and also rebalance and attune their energy.
Okay.
So that's what they learn. If people want to go farther and want to either make a career out of this or incorporate energy medicine tools into their existing careers and business, then there is a certification program.
Oh,
But
great.
it's going to be 2 years. It's a little longer. But even if people do 1 year, they will be able to incorporate this into their existing modalities. And if they complete the whole program, they will be a certified energy medicine practitioner
Wow.
and actually make a career out of this. I know we talked a lot about energy, vitality, and business and all these things, but also something that I enjoy supporting people with is with chronic conditions as well. Autoimmune, pain, and deep conditions as well. This can be very, very helpful for all of that.
Incredible. Incredible.
Yes.
You're like a book of knowledge and it comes so naturally to you. And wow, I'm so impressed and grateful for your presence. And I know that you have tools that you're gifting the audience and access to some videos as well. So
Yes.
do you want to tell us a little bit about that? Because I'm like, okay, give more. I'm like, give it more.
And I love your openness and I appreciate sometimes I love sharing these tools, but I love to give it with context
Yeah.
because some people can not understand. It's like, what benefit do I get about just moving my arms over my shoulders? But it really feels the difference. So I'm going to share a whole routine of a daily energetic tune-up for people, for your audience to be able to do it, preferably daily. But as I said, I hold this with a lot of compassion because, as you said, I have the knowledge, I have the tools. And sometimes when I have very, very busy travel week, I miss a day or two. So let's just be compassionate with ourselves until we can actually do it daily.
So would you do it in the morning so that you can then use a tool to help align yourself?
Yes,
Yeah.
I usually do it twice a day. I like to do it
Okay.
in the morning because it's just 7 minutes. And then around 3, 4, 5 p.m. when I'm already a little bit tired, but I still have a little bit more to do,
Yeah.
it kind of like feels like I just woke up refreshed again,
Right.
just with those 7 minutes. And then something that I will share with your audience also is a video with different ways to self-test. I show one way to test other people, the way I did the energy test. But it's important for people to self-test. So they can also check a little bit on their grounding, their polarity, how their energy is on a daily basis, no? And even to test the food that they want to ingest to see if their body wants to receive that during the day. So all that will be in the video. We don't do gatekeeping, so we're going to share that with your audience for sure.
Hey, how incredible, Yoly. Thank you. So, and it's easy and it's so beneficial. I feel like a remarkable difference since we did those 3. And I'm actually like very fascinated because it was so simple.
It was simple. Yeah. No, and you're so attuned to your body and this that your energy is very responsive, which is amazing.
That's so good. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Any last words of wisdom before I give you our 3 fire questions to wrap the episode?
Yeah, I'm going to piggyback on your new tattoo.
Okay.
Trust yourself.
Okay.
We hold the truth and we hold all the information. We have this innate intelligence. So we have to trust our innate intelligence a little bit more to learn. I just told you I travel the world for guidance and mentorship. So I love listening to the external voices and guidance, but listen to your inner wisdom as well. So, and yeah, that's
It trumps.
yeah, absolutely. And one thing that a mentor told me, like don't negotiate with your soul. Your soul knows the truth, so don't negotiate with your soul because it is expensive. It is expensive. That's true. Yeah, I have a mentor told me that, and that landed into my soul, and I always share that piece of wisdom as well.
Yeah, wise words.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for having me, Danielle. This was amazing.
Oh, good. Thank you. And thank you for your openness and willingness to share these tools. I know you've gifted us so much. So thank you. Your wisdom is
My pleasure. I really hope this word spread and it helps people. So thank you so much for having me.
So 3 questions.
Yes.
The first one is abundance in one word. Go.
Self-honoring.
Ooh.
When you honor yourself, everything just flows to you.
Okay. Very good. Love that. The second is you're on the Mystic Millionaire podcast. So do you have guilt-free indulgences to keep you in your millionaire mindset self?
Yes, and it has been very recent. I hope I have done it for longer. Sacred pause and rest. I used to have guilt when I was resting, when I was taking time for myself, and now I have the most amazing do nothing days and guilt-free rest and sacred pause every time I need it.
That is huge. That's that white space where we get intuitive ideas and downloads that give us the ability to quantum leap. And yeah, I love that answer. It's not the easiest to do, is it?
It took me decades.
Yeah.
It took me decades. I managed to do it a few years ago, but still with some lingering guilt there. And now I finally, probably for the last couple of years, land into the guilt-free space.
Yeah. I love that. I recently had to work through, I love to take Fridays for myself. And so I call them Freedom Fridays. And yet my team's working. So I had this whole thing. I'm like here at the spa or at a like beautiful lunch and journaling and walking. And I've got my team all working. And that, I don't know about you, but I had to like really transmute those feelings that were coming up. And it was a lot of guilt.
Yeah, we have to do a lot of work on that. And I'm glad that you landed in that space because it's thanks to your Freedom Fridays that you can show up better for your team, for your community, for everything. So it's probably one of the most important parts of your whole week.
Oh, it's most likely the most important. Yeah. And I didn't get it because it's not logical at all. Doesn't make any sense, especially when you have a to-do list. And what we think is a to-do list, that's a mile long, right? Yeah. That's like, so good. Okay, so your third question is if you had only one book that you could read for the rest of your life, what book would that be?
Okay. people probably think it's like an energy medicine work or something really deep, but I actually like the surrender experiment. I don't know. Yes, I liked it a lot because it's like a Mickey Singer was talking about just surrender to the flow of life. And he was for a while in tech. Maybe that was resonating. He built like a very big technology company and then landing into creating this temple, in the middle of nowhere and stuff like that. And I eventually also want to create a center. So there are a lot of parts of his journey that resonated with me. I'm more into books written by women and stuff like that. But that one actually resonated with me. And yeah, I enjoy it. There are many, many books. We probably need 5 hours to talk about the deeper ones that really changed my life. But I think I will enjoy giving a second, third read to that one.
Love it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Yoly, for your time and your commitment to your purpose and the way that you help and serve people. It's so clear how passionate you are and that you are on purpose. So thank you for following and trusting yourself to invest time in your energy. And thank you for sharing that with us today.
Thank you so much. This just flows so easily. And I really love this conversation with you. Thank you. And thank you for your audience also for trusting us. Thank you.
Thank you. So follow Yoly. We'll put all of her handles and her information in the show notes. And we know that this resonated with you. So please reach out to her, share your ahas and questions with either of us. And we look forward to seeing you in the bonus episode. For all of our Mystic Millionaires in the making, thank you for joining us. And we'll see you next time.
Bye.